Many of the places that are most significant for scientific study are also places that are extremely significant in Hawaiian cultural thought. The summits of mountains, for example, are wonderful places for astronomy, but they're also some of the most sacred points in the Hawaiian Islands. And yet, when you speak with most scientists, whether they're life scientists or physicists, at the basis of it is a huge respect for the world around them. And it's this kind of respect that is the basis for cooperation between culture and science in any place that a scientist might work.
Hi, I'm Kendall Cam, and I'm the on-site coordinator for a very interesting project based here at Kaneohe. We're actually on the Marine Corps base, Kaneohe. And I was born and raised here in Hawaii, like you are. And I really enjoyed the beauty of Hawaii, and I didn't realize how much I missed it until I went away from the islands. And it gave me a better appreciation of what we have here living in Hawaii. And I want to preserve that beauty for my children and my children's children. So this project that I'm working on is kind of interesting because we are taking basically power that comes from the sun that creates wind, and the wind creates waves, and then we're going to convert it into an energy that you're used to, which would be something like the power that goes into your house that you use to turn on your lights at night, and also to run your CD player or your microwave oven. That's what we're going to use these waves, the energy in these waves, to produce that type of energy. Now our buoy in the ocean, the first buoy we're putting into the water, is going to generate roughly about 20 kilowatts of energy. I'm not sure if many of you know this, but one of the only native Hawaiian burial sites is here, right as on this site that I'm standing on. And so long ago, hundreds of years ago, the people who lived here would bury their dead here on the shoreline and even up as far as these ridges here.
Kalipo kalao kalipo kapo o vale o iha nao kapo hanao kulipo I kapo e kane hanao ko ele kapo.
So when we were doing our project, we consulted with some experts. In fact, some people who are actually descended, in other words, their great-great-great-grandparents are buried here. They are now living at this time with us, and they want to make sure that their great-great-great-grandparents' bones are not uncovered or disturbed in any way. So we talked to those people, and one of them is Nalani Olds, and she gave us a lot of good information on how we could do our project, which, by the way, the native Hawaiians think of as very pono because it's a way of living off the land. So it's a very righteous project. She wanted to help us with our project, but at the same time not impact or not disturb the iwi of her ancestors or her great-grandparents.
This area, Mokapu, which is now occupied by Marine Corps Base Hawaii, is a very special area, even in the times of old and ancient folklore and such, because this was a sacred area used only by chiefs. And if you look off down that way, past Pyramid Rock to the mountains down there, that is where Kualoa is, and that was another very sacred area. And the stories go that the chiefs traveled from Kualoa and came up this way to Mokapu, and this was all a sacred area, this area all through the Kaneohe side and down to Kualoa. And this again was the area of the chiefs of old Hawaii, and it was said that there was great mana or great power here at Mokapu, because this is looked at as being the piko, or the center, the core of this island of Hawaii. And some thoughts are even that this is where life on this island first began also, is right here at Mokapu.
So we sat down, she gave us some information that was very helpful, and she actually gave us some training, what we call cultural sensitivity training, so that if any of the workers happened to come across a bone, we would know what to do with it. She also told us how we could run our electric cable that goes on shore so that we don't disturb the bones. One way of doing that is we didn't dig underground to lay this cable. What we did was we created a pedestal, or a little platform that's about a foot off the ground, and then we ran our cable on that. And that had less impact to the bones that were in the soil. So that and many other project efforts was used to prevent any impact to the iwi that's here. We wanted to respect this special place. And we also didn't want to harm any of the environment that's out there. We have coral reefs all along the islands, and we want to make sure we could find a way through that coral reef to get back to shore, so we don't damage or harm any of the fish or the marine mammals that are in the ocean that is their home. And with our buoy, especially with this large size that it is, it's about 15 feet in diameter, and it's about 50 feet long in the water. It creates a massive shadow in the water. And so the fish love the shadow. So as we put our buoy out in the ocean, a lot of fish tends to hang around that buoy. And so the fishermen will have a bonanza of fish to catch as we put more of these buoys out in the ocean.
What is important is recognizing that in addition to a scientific understanding of a place to stand and look at the stars, or a place to drill into the earth and gain energy from geothermal forces, those same places are held sacred to people who have been there for over 1,000 years. And it doesn't take all that much attention or effort to recognize what the basis is for the importance of a place in the community of people in a particular place, and to work that natural respect that every human being might have for people and places, to do things with sensitivity. The main point in Hawaiian thought is that your intentions are communicated clearly, that permission is asked, and that proper respect is given to the place and its resources. Those three things are the fundamental basis for science working with communities in Hawaii.